Hi Watcher, welcome back. Okay, another one of these comments box debates. These have been quite popular, you like them, so I thought I'd do another one for midweek. It's just me and you and the tripod today because Penny's at work, so no giggling for this one, I'm afraid. Now, this is going to be, as it says on the title, where's the future of biking? Where's it all going? When I go into bike shops sometimes, I look at the latest offerings from the manufacturers and I have to ask myself, where on earth is it all going? What's that? And I said that when I first saw the MT-09. I couldn't believe it. I thought, what is that? Really? That looks like it's been in an accident. It's a horrible looking thing. Now, I actually quite like them. I quite like the MT-09, but not because it's beautiful. I like it because of its practicality. My boss has got one at work, and you just ride it, and you just take it home and wash it, and you ride it some more. It's utterly about usage. It's not about standing there, pinging elastic bands at it, making it look pretty by putting shiny bits on. Now, I don't want to get flamed with this one. I'm not expressing any particular political view or style of bikes. I really do think that I can express I love sports bikes. I have an Aprilia RSV Millie, I love the Harley, and I do love the big adventure Tiger in the form of the General. So I do believe that I've got all genres of biking in my life. I love all of them. And I do believe the future of biking is very bright. But I have to wonder where it's going. And I thought that might be a great subject today to debate for this one. Little example for you. Back in 2009, Harley Davidson decided to put the Biofuel brand to bed. They put it to bed forever. They shut down the racing operations. They scrapped the plans for a $10 million factory to build Biofuel motorcycles, sacked everybody, laid them off, and went back to their core values of building cruiser bikes, which is what they do. And since 2009, when they suffered a 84% decline in sales over 2008, they decided to move back to what they do best, and they are doing very well. They've gone upwards ever since, I believe. So they're doing what they should do, but what they're doing is following what we want. We, the buyers, we, the customers, said, no, thank you. We're not buying enough Buells from you. No, we don't really want to go down that road. We're not into bike racing. Harley Davidsons are about cruisers and the freedom lifestyle and all that. And they listened, and that's what they've done. And that's why they're successful for 100 and many years. The Japanese factories are exactly the same. When you look at it, all of the Japs answer what we want. Just look down back history. Go back to when the sports bikes were first born. We were taking our GS 750s, GS 850s, all our 70s muscle bikes, as we call them now, but the proper road bikes of the 1970s, we were taking them, putting clip-on Ace bars, hands up at the back, who remembers Ace bars, bubble fairings, turning them into something like Mad Max, like the Toe Cutter's bike. If you look at all the bikes in the first Mad Max film, that was very much a popular style of the late 1970s, and also the film Stone from the 1970s. If you haven't got it, Google it. 1970s, the film Stone with Sandy Harbutt. If you look at that film, watch what those bikes look like. That's what the factory saw us doing to our bikes. We were putting the bubble fairings on, Ace bars, rear sets, and let's face it, that ain't new, is it? That goes back to the 50s, to your calf races and that sort of thing. And they decided to make proper GP style bikes. So that come the GSXR 750, Honda Fireblade, etc. All that stuff rolled to it, and now look at it, 2015, here we are today, and it's come to a natural end, hasn't it? Let's face it, ZX10, Yamaha R1, Fireblade, and GSXR 1000 dead in the water. Can't sell them, can't give them away. If you look at any dealership, they might have one, maybe two, but they've got dozens of MT-09s, they've got dozens of GSXF 750s and things, and Bandits, because that's what people want, rideable, usable motorcycles. Because again, it's just another example of us, we the buyers, dictating what we want, even to the point where the Bandit itself, the venerable Suzuki Bandit, I seem to remember it being a case of your GSXR 1100 boys were going out crashing their GSXR 1100s, because you just do, you can't afford the plastics because they cost more than a mortgage. So what do? You put a pair of Renthal bars and some big spotlights on, and you make a Street Fighter. And the Street Fighter was born in about the late 1980s, possibly the early 90s. It kind of blossomed since then, and it's still alive today in a very different format, but it's still alive today. But the Bandit, the Suzuki Bandit, was Suzuki saw us doing what we were doing to their beloved GSXR, and they thought, we'll make one of them. So there's a GSXR engine, standard metal frame, put perimeter kind of frame, straight handlebars, big headlight clocks, made yourself a street bike. They realised that we actually didn't all want to ride around on sports bikes. We wanted a street bike. So the Bandit was born, and that bike is still around today. It wouldn't be around today if we didn't buy them. That's because it's such a usable bike, as are so many of that style. Adventure bikes, look what happened. The operation that was Ewan and Charlie McGregor when they went around the world on the two big adventure bikes at the time. They went to KTM to try and borrow the £1 million they needed for the operation. KTM said, we're not worth £1 million, so they went to BMW. BMW had to borrow the money from the car division in order to fund that operation, and then off they went and took those 3 BMW GS 1250s around the world, and now that is ultimately the most successful selling motorcycle of the noughties. And to this day, they are BMW's prime bike, the big adventure GSs and that sort of thing. So much so that other manufacturers have jumped on the same bandwagon. Triumph with all of the Tigers and so on. The Tigers were kind of rolling to an end just before then, and now they've 3 different models of Tiger, and they've brought them back out of mothballs. So what we dictate, folks, is what the factories make. It's what they do. So where are we all going? What do we want? What do we want for the future? Now, I'm talking not just to us old farts who've been doing this forever. I'm talking to the younger generation. I know we have a lot of younger viewers out there, the teens, teenagers getting their licenses, getting their first bikes. What do you want? What is it for you? Where are you going? What do you want from a bike? I know when I was a youth, I wanted the biggest, loudest muscle bike I could. Z1300 was my icon. CBX 1000, the big 6-cylinder engine, looked like a block of flats. Awesome. That's what I coveted as a youth, and I wanted that sort of thing. I had a GS 850 at one point, a GS 750, so I kind of went there for a while, and I followed fashion into sports bikes and then into Harleys when I got older. That's how we all go. We do follow what our mates, like they say, we covet what we see, so a lot of it is what our friends have. But where's the trend going? I see recently Harley Davidson bring out the Project Live Wire, the first electric motorcycle. So is, question, that where it's going? Don't know. Is it? Personally, I think the Live Wire is awesome, but it's a concept bike, and it would look awesome, wouldn't it? Will the production bikes look that good? See the concept bikes for the Street 750 and see the actual bike. A bit of a disappointment, don't you think? Exactly. So the point is, talking to you, the PlayStation generation, you youngsters watching this now, where's the future of biking? We're not talking about 10 years from now or 20, but maybe 50 years from now, when you blokes in your teens now are my age. So what would that be? 30 years from now, 35 years from now, or even when you retire, say you're 40, 50 years from now. Where were you going with it? And in a more metaphoric way, where's it going to be 100 years from now? Will the legislators have killed biking? Will motorcycle riding be no longer something we all do? Will it be a thing of the past? Personally, I don't think so. Not in a million years. Biking will always be around as far as I'm concerned because it's too much fun. It might become just a fun thing. It might be the future. They might eventually wake the hell up and realise bikes are the best thing for the green answer because that's the congestion side of things. Let's see. In London, for instance, you see all kinds of initiatives to make congestion reduced. Do you hear a single word about motorcycles? Not one. It's conspicuous by its absence. Why is that? Why is motorcycling not promoted as the greener, less congested answer? I really don't know. Maybe you can enlighten me. I've no idea. Have we ever seen a diesel bike? No. And there's loads of you laughing, but I love that concept. I know there's been an adventure style thing that had a diesel engine, but it wasn't a production mainstream bike. And yes, there's the Yanmar diesel conversion you can do for your Enfield. It does 200 to the gallon, but we're talking about one-off bits and bobs. A production company like Yamaha, Harley Davidson, whatever, pulling out of their backside a diesel-powered motorcycle, something that can run on biofuel. Is that not surely the greenest thing in the world ever? Could you not do that? You grow your own damn fuel in the back garden. You can buy chip fat and run the cars on old chip oil and all sorts of things. There are green answers all over. Is that where future biking is going? So that's it for me. That's the question today. Where's the future of biking? We guide what happens. We've proved that with the changes to Harley, the changes to the Japanese manufacturers and all the others along the way. Look at the KTM 1290 Super Duke. That's what we want. This big, growly, scary Street Fighter monster wheelie thing. That's what we want at the moment. And when it changes, whatever we want in the future, they'll make that too. The manufacturers are companies out there to make a profit, so they will listen to us and what we want. So what do we want? What do we want? What do you want to happen to motorcycling, to biking? Do you want more freedom? Do you want more help? Do you want the manufacturers to make them easier? Yes, we want our bikes to be cheaper, but do we want them to be more sellable? Harley Davidson are very, very good at making your investment reliable on price. You can buy a Harley today and get practically your money back in 3 or 4 years. The reason they do that is because they keep going up in price. So your £5,000 bike in 3 years is £8,000. So you'll still get £5,000 for it because to buy a new one is £3,000 more. It works, but then that's got to stop because bikes can't just keep going up till they're £50,000 each. It's too much money. Bikes have always been infinitely cheaper. That's part of their attraction. Go back to your grandpa who said he had a bike first, then a sidecar, then he could save up and afford a car. That was always the way. So is that the future? Are we all going to be riding around on electric bikes? Are we all not going to be on bikes at all in 100 years' time? I think it's up to us. I think it's our decision because we drive not just the manufacturers, but I think also the legislation. To a certain degree, we can fight that legislation. Motorcycle Action Group, the BMF, the American Riders' Rights Groups and Associations, we all put pressure on politicians to make the right decisions because they honestly usually only make the right decision if we help them to make it. And I think that's where MAG have been so successful, Motorcycle Action Group and the others, for us over the years. So with the right lobbying, the right legislation, will motorcycling survive? So there's the question for this comments box debate. Where's it all going? Where's the future of bike in 100 years from now? It could be an interesting one. Stick it in the comments box as ever. I can't answer every single one. We'll do our best. We usually get through 200 to 300 messages on this. So have a read down them. Some of them are extremely interesting. So thank you in advance for your attention and for reading this and for getting yourself involved in it. Take it easy, ride safe. Let's get stuck in. Comments. Go. See you next time.